Hello, everyone. My name is Austin Love, and I'm going to talk about the negative effects of social media for children that are 9 and under. So, the first thing that I want to talk about um, is the parents and guardian may not monitor the social media site as often as they should. What I mean by that is basically there are many different social media sites, and sometimes kids have access to it or they use social media. I know that there's a lot of kids that use, like, for instance, like they have like a Snapchat account. And so basically the negative effect of that would be just a parent or a guardian, somebody 18 and older, who's ever watching the kid, who's ever around the kid most often. um they just don't really look at what the kids really do, or like what they really watch, the things that they're viewing, the things that they're consuming every single day. And so that can be a big thing. That one, after I mention the other points, I'm going to come back to that one, but that was the first one that I wanted to mention. The second thing that I want to talk about, and I'm a parent myself, I have a 9-year old daughter. um, and this, I wouldn't say it sound harsh, but it's just real. It happens. It exists. It happens far too often. But the next thing that I want to talk about is some people on social media sites that children use, uh, and just period. Some people are predators. I know it sounds harsh, that term, but hey, like I say, it's real. But there are some people that use certain, like, social media sites that know that children will be on, or hope that children will be on, and so that they try to prey on kids. And that shouldn't happen at all. Like I say, that type of thing can be prevented. Just who's ever, around the kid, please monitor, whatever the kid does and whatever that they're doing. Please be with them and keep an eye on them and watch them as often as you can. The next thing that I want to mention is that social media, well, a negative effect of social media on children. It can and it may invade privacy. Like, for instance, like I said, like some social media sites, sorry, um they have, like, certain permission guidelines and things that you have to, consent to or follow. Basically all of them, if you're under 18 and older, you're going to have, if you're allowed to be on there, if the kids are allowed to be on there, you're going to have um parental guidance, or a parent, like, just basically saying what they will allow, what they wouldn't allow, just, parent approval. And, like, basically there are, like I say, there are some apps like Facebook Messenger or whatever, that sometimes it'll ask, like, hey, will you give this app permission to, post your location, or will you give this app permission to, um, have access to your camera, or, phone log, contact log, things like that. So sometimes they may, invade privacy, because they might go to, you might, use a social media site with your kid, or your kid might use one and then go to a restaurant, and it'll say, oh, where, your exact location is. So with that being said, I know one of the side points that I use with that is TikTok. There's a big thing with TikTok. You know, um, People can, chat with you from all over, and have access to your information and your videos and things like that. And so it shows your everyday life. It can. And so those things very well can invade privacy. Next thing I want to mention is it may cause distraction from school and learning. You know, with everything going on right now, including my daughter, a lot of schools are doing virtual learning, or like online and Zoom, with the class and their teacher. So sometimes the teacher might say, all right, class, take like a 5 minute, take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, read this paragraph or do this math equation and tell me, what's your answer and things like that. Sometimes if the kid is on social media and not really paying attention or focus, like I say, like the phone or device or whatever, laptop could be like right in their hands or their possession. And they are not really focusing on the teacher. They're more so focusing on the app or the game or whatever type of social media site it is. So it can cause distractions. The last thing that I do want to mention is a couple years back. I know some of you may have heard of this, but it was something called the Momo Challenge. And like before I explain that really quick, basically what it is that kids, this social media thing can leave kids traumatized. You know, just seeing things that they're not supposed to see, experiencing things they're not supposed to experience. Like I mentioned about the Momo challenge, it was some type of weird looking figure with big old eyes, and it just looked like scary. Like even for an adult, when you see this, if you ever see this, please Google it if ever you get a chance. Just look up a image of Momo or Momo, whatever it's called. I think it's Momo. But anyways, like it would be on YouTube or like kids YouTube or like social media. Say if a kid is watching their favorite program or something like that, um, you pretty much in a commercial break or whatever, like this figure would just pop up out of nowhere and would like tell the kids or influence kids to do things that they're not supposed to. Like it'll tell them something like as far as don't listen to your parents or things that can harm themselves, like tell them, to do things to themselves that can cause harm or cause harm to others. So those are things that I want to mention, that I wanted to talk about, the negative effects of social media. And so please look into these things. If you have brothers or sisters, sons or daughters, nieces, nephews, cousins, whatever, if you're around kids, please look into these things. Thank you.